Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you. Welcome back to another episode of the KBR Show. This is yours truly, King Buddy Ray, coming at you on this wonderful, and I said Tuesday, and it is not Tuesday. Oh my. It is Wednesday, so happy middle of the week, guys. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you're enjoying a little bit of the warmer weather. It almost got up to 40 yesterday, which felt a lot warmer than 40. It's going to be 55 to 60 next week for a couple days. So looking forward to it. The ice is finally going away. The snow is finally going away. I think winter is over. Maybe, maybe not. I don't really care. I'm going to deal with whatever weather we get. But thank you again for tuning in to another episode of the KBR Show on this wonderful Wednesday. Some things we're going to talk about today. The NBA has been hopping on the floor and especially off the floor. Lots of trades happening. Some surprising ones. Some of them, some people picked. We'll touch into that. We'll look at the NFL and Super Bowl. I will make my pick today. We'll do a recap of sports from Monday and Tuesday. Both college basketball, men and women, NBA, and even some local stuff for you. And then we'll look at sports for tomorrow. We'll do a positive thought and Bible verse as always as well. First, we'll start on the NBA off the floor news. The NBA trade deadline has been hot. The unexpected trade, actually two of them that no one saw coming. The first one, Mr. Anthony Davis, Dallas Maverick himself, no more. He's now in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., and a Wizard. He's now a Wizard and will team up with Trey Johnson, Trey Young, and then two studded young guys, Alexander Sarr and Keyshawn George. DC's looking like they're making a move. Is it a big move? If AD stays healthy, that pick and roll game with him and Trey Young could be good. Who did Dallas get out of this trade? They got veteran Chris Middleton, who played for the championship Milwaukee Bucks teams a few years back. A.J. Johnson, who's a young guy. Marvin Bagley, 2 first-round picks, and 3 second-round picks. So Dallas is setting up for the future. I think they're putting all their chips in the bag for Cooper Flagg and going to build something around him. And may I say, he's a dog. As much as I don't like him because he's a Blue Devil, he's very good. Can put up about 30 points a night if he wants to. I think Dallas wins the trade here, and it's strictly for 2 reasons, guys. One, Cooper Flagg, you gave him some young pieces, a vet to kind of help him a little bit, who's won a championship, has been in big games, and he was really big in that championship run back in 2020 for the Bucks. He was kind of the closer that year for the Bucks. A lot of people forget about that because he kind of fell off the face of the planet when he left Milwaukee. So he has been big. I think he's big. And then they got draft picks. They got 5 draft picks out of this deal. Anthony Davis. The Wizards, it could work if Anthony Davis stays healthy, but that is a big, big if. So Anthony Davis lasted just over 1 year in Dallas, and now he's in the nation's capital wearing the red, white, and blue for the Washington Wizards. Another trade a lot of people didn't see happening. The defending NBA champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder, make a trade for second-year player Jared McCain from the Philadelphia 76ers. And then the Sixers receive from that a first-round pick from the Houston Rockets and 3 second-round picks from Oklahoma City. I think the Thunder win this one there strictly because they didn't lose any of their first-round picks. So Sam Presti, great GM, great job there. And they get Jared McCain, who before his injury last year in his rookie season was projected to win Rookie of the Year by NBA voters. And I'm not a voter, but myself included. I thought he was going to win Rookie of the Year before he got hurt. So I think that's a big piece adding to the Oklahoma City Thunder roster. A great two-way player, a great scorer. I think that is a win really for both sides, but especially for the Thunder. The Sixers can offload some money and get some picks from that as well. starting the day yesterday. Yesterday was also a big day in the trade deadline on Tuesday. The Jazz are loading up for the future. They got Jaren Jackson, John Conchar, and 2 other players from the Grizzlies. And the Grizzlies received Kyle Anderson, Walton Clayton Jr., and 2 other players from the Jazz. The Jazz are starting to set up for the future. Got a veteran piece in Jaren Jackson Jr. Big wingspan, big on defense, can shoot. Isn't the best at rebounding for a big guy, but adding him to Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler, and then a potential top 5 draft pick, which could be, think of these 5, because these 5 could go any order. Darren Peterson, AJ Batanza, Caleb Wilson, Cameron Boozer, Koapet. Think if the Jazz got any of those 5 and added to what they have in that young core, I think the Jazz are starting to turn the corner and setting them for the future. Will it work? We will see. So, I think the Jazz won that trade there. Also yesterday, Harden to the Cavs. James Harden, the slowest defender in all of the NBA. Sorry, Mr. Harden. Shockingly, it's not LeBron James. Chip Glover. But James Harden, slowest defender in the NBA, gets traded from the Los Angeles Clippers to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Darius Garland and then 2 pick swaps. High risk, high reward for the Cavs. Does it pay off? Can Harden score and play along Donovan Mitchell? Does he help Donovan Mitchell? Does he hurt them defensively? Because as I've said multiple times on this, defense wins championships. Harden plays awful defense. 1, because he's slow on defense with his feet. And 2, he just plays bad defense. But will it pay off? I think it's a high risk, but I think it is a high reward in favor of the Cavs. I think the Cavs win this one. I think it's good for both teams because Harden is getting a little older, probably has 3-4 years left. Darius Garland is younger, but I think it takes the Cavs over the top. I'll reveal something later in the show. You'll see what I'm about to say on that one. The Celtics and the Bulls make a trade. The Celtics get a big man in Nikola Vucevic and trade away Anthony Simons and then some pick swaps in that trade there. The Boston didn't really have a big man presence. They had Luka Garza and some other pieces, but no true big man. And after last year, they got rid of all their big men. They got rid of Robert Williams a couple of years ago. They got rid of Kristaps Porzingis. He's now in Atlanta. They got rid of Al Horford. He's now in Golden State. So they needed a big man. I think that's good. Is it enough to help them this year get above Cleveland, the Knicks, and Detroit? I don't think so, but it sets them up for when Jason Tatum returns. And they have Vucevic, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum. I think it sets them up really big in the future. I think it's also big for the Bulls. They have a true point guard and scorer in Anthony Simons. I think both teams win this trade pretty evenly there. Now what happens in the next 24 hours? That's the biggest question in the NBA trade deadline now. Does Giannis move? He has clearly stated multiple times he wants out of Milwaukee. The Warriors have made multiple trades for him. The Knicks have really pulled out of that race. I think they're trusting in what they've got. Miami's made multiple trade offers. They don't have as much to offer. Same thing with the Timberwolves. They don't have as much to offer either. They don't have the cap space. They don't have the pieces. They don't have the picks. I think it's Golden State or nobody, and they wait to the end of the season. But with that being said, Giannis and the Bucks will butt heads during the season because Giannis wants to play second half of the year, and the Bucks kind of want to tank to get a top draft pick because they know Giannis is gone. But if you don't get rid of Giannis now, if you're Milwaukee, he has the ability to say, I only want to go here. Now you have the ability to put him wherever you put him. So, if you're Milwaukee, I think you need to make the trade here. Do I think it happens? No. But if you're Milwaukee, you got to do everything in your power to make a trade happen before the trade deadline for Giannis because you're going to get more for him now than you are at the end of the season when his contract expires because he's going to have all the say of where he goes. So, I think you should trade him now if you really want to set your upsell for the future, but Milwaukee hasn't been the best basketball franchise. Case in point why Giannis wants out, but I don't think he goes anywhere. But if Milwaukee, if you want to get something for him, you better get rid of him now. We'll see what happens. Just under 24 hours, right about 23 and a half hours left in the trade deadline. Should be a fun next 23 hours. Mr. Shams Charania is probably not going to get much sleep. Well, another trade happened. Well, you still got John Morant, who wants out of Memphis. You still got a couple other pieces. What will happen? We will see. I will share things to my social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, all the things about the trades in the next couple days. Should be a fun one on the NBA. Now to the actual hardwood, but we're going to start with college ball on Monday. Big Monday. North Carolina Tar Heels. Trap game. Question mark. Was it a trap game? It was their last game before the big game this weekend against Duke. They welcomed the Orange from Syracuse into town. They came out firing on all cylinders first 30 minutes. They had a 32-point lead with about 10 minutes left, but Syracuse starts to press and pulls it within 10, but they got no closer there. But Duke probably took notice of that and will probably press Carolina, or at least I would if I was John Shire. But no trap game, no loss for the Tar Heels. They won 87-77 against the Syracuse Orange at home. Caleb Wilson, phenom freshman, power forward, led the way for the Tar Heels with 22 points and 9 boards. The second game on Big Monday, Kansas Jayhawks and their top freshman Darren Peterson traveled to Texas Tech to take on the Red Raiders. It was back and forth all game long. 2 big threes late from Darren Peterson puts the Jayhawks away 64-61 late in the top 15 matchup of the evening in Texas against the Jayhawks. The Jayhawks come out on top. Mr. Darren Peterson did play the whole game, was pretty good there in that matchup. Now on to Super Tuesday. Yesterday, Mr. Miami, Ohio, they got another game at the buzzer, beat Buffalo to remain unbeaten. Number 2, UConn, number 2 team in all the land, smacked Xavier right in the mouth, 92-61 by 32 at home. Duke welcomes in Boston College, their trap game, their game before the big game this weekend. Would it be a trap? No, it would not. Duke wins big, had a big defensive game, wins 67-49, and shoots very efficiently, 70% from the floor in that game. The Pitt Panthers travel over the mountain to Charlottesville and take on the UVA Cavaliers. The Cavaliers won, though, 67-47 there. That was it for Big Monday in the men, but now we transfer to the women. The UNC Tar Heel women traveled to the Wolfpack in Raleigh to take on the NC State Wolfpack, and they came out of there with a win for the first time in 6 years, winning by 2, 61-59. Number 3 team in all the land in women's ball, the South Carolina Gamecocks and Don Stanley's squad travel to Aggieland down in Texas A&M, and win by 15, 71-56 there. Now back to the NBA hardwood, where we're actually going to talk games instead of trades. We're going to start with Monday in Indianapolis, Indiana. The Pacers welcome in the Houston Rockets and the KD-less Rockets. But Alfred Şengün came to play and took advantage without KD there. Walked away with 39 points and 16 boards. The Rockets win by 4, 118-114. The Memphis Grizzlies and the Minnesota Timberwolves, could they be a trade option for each other? Maybe. A lot of people think so, myself included. The Grizzlies welcomed in the Minnesota Timberwolves down in Memphis, and Memphis wins by a score of 137-128. The 76ers welcome in this time the Los Angeles Clippers. They win that one 128-113. The Clippers have been on a 3-game skid after winning 15-19 from Christmas. They won 15-19, and in the last 3 they have lost. That is it for Monday in the NBA. Now to Tuesday. The Knicks, they have won 6 in a row. Will it be 7? They go to D.C. and win in easy fashion, 132-101. Very balanced scoring. 7 players in double figures. That is why I don't think they're going after Giannis, because they're very balanced on offense and on defense. 7 players in double figures led by Jalen Brunson there. The Lakers remain on their East Coast trip and smack the Brooklyn Nets, or as Chip Glover would like to say, the G League Brooklyn Nets. For those of you that don't know Chip Glover, he's a good friend of mine. I sold cell phones with him in my cell phone days back with Touchtel. Shout out to you, Raheem Ali. Love you, my friend. The Los Angeles Lakers travel to the Nets and win 125-109. Austin Reeves, AR-15, returned in a minutes restriction, played 20 minutes with 15 points. AR-15 got 15. The Celtics traveled to Dallas to finish off the one of the games of that night there, the first game on TNT that night. Celtics versus Dallas in Dallas. Celtics hold off Cooper Flagg and the Mavericks 110-100. But another big game from Mr. Cooper Flagg. He had 36 points and 9 boards. Jaylen Brown led the way for Boston with 33 points. To end us off that night, the Detroit Pistons welcomed in the Denver Nuggets. Very big matchup there. And Detroit walks away with the 3-point win, 124-121. More balanced scoring from the Pistons again. 6 in double figures, led by Cade Cunningham with 29 points. The Nuggets struggling with injuries still. No Aaron Gordon, no Cam Johnson. Christian Brown did return, didn't really look that good. But Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray had 32 and 24 points apiece. I still stand on my take. A healthy Nuggets team will be a dangerous team in the West. Now look at basketball for the next 2 days in the NBA. Tonight, the Denver Nuggets welcome in the New York Knicks. Or not welcome in. Wow, I read that backwards. The Denver Nuggets travel to the Knicks to play in New York at Madison Square Garden at 7 o'clock, and that will be on ESPN. Another big matchup, last one of the year. Spurs lead this one 3-1 in favor of the Spurs, one of them being in the NBA Cup. The Spurs will play the Thunder at 9:30 on ESPN. Should be a fun one there. Top teams there, very good on defense, very deep on both benches. Should be a fun one. I think the Knicks are going to win the first one, and I think the Thunder are going to respond to San Antonio and win the second one as well. Very fun in the NBA. And then on tomorrow evening, you've got the Raptors welcoming in the Bulls. You've got the Spurs on the second night of a back-to-back staying down in Houston, but they'll be, staying down in San Antonio, but they'll travel to Dallas to play the Mavericks. The Warriors will travel to Phoenix to take on the Suns. And then the Lakers return home after a 10-plus game road trip and welcome in the Philadelphia 76ers there. Should be a very fun couple of days in NBA basketball. Lots of good things there. Before we go to talk about the NFL and we make my Super Bowl pick, let's talk some local stuff. Micah Matthews, TA grad, 1 year at Virginia Tech. He sat out this year in a red shirt. He decided to come home to James Madison. He's got 4 years of eligibility left. He plays wide receiver. Very good on the wide receiver end. Quick, good hands. Good pickup in my opinion for the Dukes. Micah Matthews returns home to the Shenandoah Valley. Let's look at some high school sports. Lots of good games in action the last couple of nights in high school sports. The TA boys knocked off the top seeded in the district, the East Rockingham Eagles, last night, 47-44 at home. So TA boys are now tied for second place against the Rocktown Raptors, but they play each other on Friday. So winner of that game on Friday will have sole possession of second place in the Valley District. Should be a fun one there. That will be at TA this Friday. Should be fun. TA versus Rocktown this Friday evening. The TA girls lost to East Rock at East Rock 59-52. Spotswood, boys and girls, they both sweep. They win big against Harrisonburg High School. Spotswood back in action tomorrow night against Culpeper. The boys will be at home and the girls will be on the road. And then boys and girls will both be on the road for Spotswood on Saturday at 4A seeded, which is a seed above what Spotswood, TA, and all the schools around here are. They're 3A. EC Glass is 4A. All 4 JV, varsity, boys and girls travel to EC Glass for Spotswood on Saturday. And like I said a few moments ago, TA boys will be at home against Rocktown on Friday, and the girls will be at Rocktown. The majority of those start at 5:30 for JV and 7 for varsity. Sometimes it is 6 and 7:30, but most of the time it is 5:30 and 7. So if you like some good basketball, some good competition, go watch them. If you want to know the exact times and can't find them, reach out to me, let me know. I will be at TA on Friday. I will be refereeing the JV game and then probably staying for the second game and watching the TA Rocktown game just because I like to watch good basketball, learn a little bit from the referees, watch a good game. So yeah, and that is it for local stuff. Or one more thing for local stuff before we go to the NFL. Got a big one tonight in the Bull Run tonight. JMU commit on the men's basketball floor, Matthew Owens, who just took over the top scoring record, is now number 1 in Luray basketball history for Luray, number 1 scorer. They bring Central to town. That's a number 1 seeded Central versus number 3 seed currently Luray, and that's in Luray. Should be a fun one. To get start time for that one for varsity is 7:30. So that should be fun. That is tonight on Wednesday evening. Now to the NFL. Super Bowl. 4 days away. New England Patriots versus Seattle Seahawks. Sam Darnold's top number 5. He's been in Seattle. He's been in Minnesota. He's been in San Francisco, where the Super Bowl is being held this year. He was back up to Brock Purdy there. He was the starter in Minnesota, went 14-3, lost the last 2 games big, so they dumped him and went with J.J. McCarthy, the rookie, instead. He was with the New York Jets, who drafted him. He went to the Carolina Panthers after that, his 5th stop. Does he finally pull it off, win a ring, shut up all the haters, including myself? He's been playing really good in the playoffs. That was kind of his end and why he got out of Minnesota. What happens there? Is it second year UNC Tar Heel Drake May for New England? The battle of defenses. You got 2 top 5 defenses. You got 2 top 5 scoring offenses. You got Sam Darnold, who has wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba. You got Stephon Diggs and Drake May. Who makes a difference? Who wins the Super Bowl? The spread is still at 4.5 points. The over-under is still at 45.5. That hasn't moved in the last 3 days. Probably won't move again, but we will see. My pick for the Super Bowl is the Seattle Seahawks. I think Sam Darnold gets it done. I think he has another killer game. And my take for this game is he throws for over 350 yards. Over 350 yards. At least a touchdown to Jackson Smith-Njigba. A couple rushing touchdowns from Kenneth Walker. And I think Sam Darnold comes out on top. Wins the Super Bowl. Wins Super Bowl MVP. I think they win. I think it's going to be close. I think the Seahawks may have to make a turnover late. Make a special teams play. I think they're going to have some help there, but I think Drake May and Sam Darnold duke it out. But I think Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks come out on top, and he shuts up all his haters, including myself. I think he wins. My pick is Seattle. Let me know who you guys think is going to win. Comment when I make some posts. Comment on the podcast on YouTube. Let me know who you think is going to win. I think it's going to be Seattle and Sam Darnold. Instead of question of the day-to-day, we're going to do hot take of the day-to-day. So we were talking a lot about the NBA earlier. My hot take takes us back to the NBA with the Cavs making the move for James Harden and dumping Darius Garland. I have the Cavs winning the East this year. I think the Cavs win the East. I don't know who's going to win the West yet. Depends what happens in Denver. But I have the Cavs, the Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, Evan Mobley, and the boys up in Cleveland. I have them winning the East. That is my hot take of the day today, guys. Chip Glover, I'm going to send this to you in the group chat. You guys can debate it with me in there. That is my hot take of the day. That takes us to our positive thought of the day, guys. Again, author unknown. Where I get these from, it's a lot of unknown authors. I kind of like it. Today, I will not allow myself to stress over things I cannot control. I declare I will remain calm. This is awesome. I think we all stress, myself included. I get that from my mother. Mom, I love you, but you stressed a lot and you know it. I get that from my mother sometimes, but I try to not let it take control of me. Especially things that I can't control, like my health. Those of you that know me know I had a lot of health issues in the last few years. Praise be to Jesus. All good now. But I tried to not stress over those because I can't control it. That's all God. That's all God and medicine and the doctors and all the things. But don't stress over things you cannot control. Remain calm. Don't stress. It will be okay. My biggest thing is be positive. Keep the negative thoughts out of here. Keep the negative thoughts out of the brain. And keep going. It will be okay. There is an end. I promise you. Things may seem hard. Things may seem tough. But don't stress over things. Especially things you can't control. Be positive. Keep going. Keep the negative thoughts out of the brain. God's got you. I have faith in you. Don't stress. Remain positive always. That takes us to our verse of today. That comes from Joshua chapter 1 verse 9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Break it down a little bit. Again, I'll say it again. Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Don't be afraid. Have faith. Connect with God. Talk to Him. Pray to Him. Sit in His presence. Worship Him. Spend time with Him. He will help you overcome all things. It takes us back to a positive thought. Don't stress. Spend time with God. He will help you. Have faith. It will be okay. With God, all things are possible. And as my hat says, God loves everyone. No matter how bad you've been, no matter how far you walked away from Him, God loves everyone. God loves you, and God loves me. Thank you again for tuning in on this wonderful Wednesday to another episode of the KBR Show. We'll be back probably Friday, early morning, mid-afternoon. It depends what time I wake up and if I want to do one in the morning. We'll see. But it will be on Friday. We'll do a sports recap from Wednesday and Thursday. We'll look at the Olympics. The Olympics start on the Winter Olympics start on Friday. We'll talk some Major League Baseball and some trades that have been happening there. Spring training starts this month, World Baseball Classic, and the season starts next month. I'll do one final thought on the Super Bowl. I'll predict my score on Friday. There, we'll do a final spread for me. Obviously, that could change between Friday and Sunday. We'll pick the score. We'll do a look ahead to a big, busy sports weekend. Guys, big, busy sports weekend. But remember, don't stress on things you can't control. God's got you. I have faith in you. Have faith in yourself. God loves you. God loves everyone. No matter how far you went away, no matter how hard it seems, God loves you. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of the KBR Show. This is yours truly, King Buddy Ray, signing off. Until next time. And as always, guys, go Bucks.